Hello and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So I have here another 10 pens currently inked for this week. I think let's go through these briefly one by one. We'll go through them in a little bit more detail and then we'll do a writing sample. So from left to right we have the Ryan Krusac Legends 16 in the Dragon Slayer. We have a Ryan Krusac Legends 16 in the Koi. We have a Gilbert House pens and this is the red and it's the Box Elder Burl. I always typically say red box Elder Burl, but it's actually red and then it's a box Elder Burl. We have a Gilbert House pens and this is the grey box Elder Burl. We have a Cypress Maki-e Goldfish. We have a Cypress and this is the Maki-e Dragon. We have a Morgan Wisser and this is in the orange Goldleaf Urushi. We have a Mike Green blue Juma Dragon, a Mike Green purple Juma Dragon. And we've got a Gilbert House pens in the Amboyna Burl. So I think let's take a look at the pens inked up in a little bit more detail here. So this is the Ryan Krusac Legend 16 Dragon Slayer pen. And you'll see here it's a scrimshaw pen. But it is quite exquisite. I really do like the amount of detail that Ryan has put into this pen. And all of this scrimshaw, it is actually computer etched into naturally shred moose antler, and the cap here is a wood, but it's I want to say ebony. It may not be, but it looks to me like it's ebony wood, and it's also got these scales that have been etched in there as well. Really do like this. I've seen more white filled in etching and other colours, and I have to say I do like those even more. This is a pen I've had for a number of years now. I think it was 21 or 22 I bought this one, and it has a number 6 size Yovo nib and it's a medium nib. It is a cartridge converter pen and you can't really post the cap. It kind of is going to sit there, but it's going to wobble. But because this is the Legend 16, it's actually a very girthy pen and quite a long pen. So I don't have any issues whatsoever with this. I do find that this is a really nice pen to write with. I do prefer having it lacquered, but I do also kind of like it not being lacquered. I think the worry that I have is with it not being lacquered is that I might get ink on that pen and it might stain it. Whereas if it was lacquered, it would not, like the Koi here that I've got. So this I picked up this year in March, and this is the Ryan Krusac Legend 16 in the Koi. I would say again though that the cap itself isn't lacquered. It is natural. But the moose antler, the naturally shed moose antler, is here lacquered. And you can see here it's got the Koi, you've got Ryan Krusac's name there, and you've got 33 of 150. So I really do like this pen. I'm glad when I saw it at John's table at St. John's Pens. It has a number 6 size Yovo double broad nib, which I did know when I was buying it. Actually, sorry, I didn't know when I was buying it. I knew the Morgan Wisser pen had a music nib on it, but I didn't know this had a double broad nib on it. And it's got a standard international converter, as all of Ryan Krusac's pens do. But it's a nice chunky pen. I really love writing with it, and this nib writes beautifully well. So for me, again, this is a beautiful pen that I have inked up this week again. And then the next pen is the Gilbert House pens. It's the red box Elder Burl, or red box Elder Burl. But this is a beautiful hybrid resin. So you've got the red resin here, and then you've got the box Elder Burl wood, and it's fused together or glued together essentially, and made into a rod. Beautiful material. Again, I like it really is quite nice. It's got a number 6 size, and that is a Bock nib there with a standard international Schmidt K5 converter. You cannot post the cap on this one, but I find that with a lot of pens. I want to say probably only 10% of pens maybe in my collection you could probably post the caps on. At least that's the way I feel it is. I've never actually counted. Maybe I should add a column to my pen database and actually say, can you post the caps? And I would very easily be able to tell. But posting caps doesn't really concern me or interest me that much. The next pen inked up, again, I picked up in March this year along with the red box Elder Burl. This is the Gilbert House Pens Grey box Elder Burl, and again, this is a really stunning material. Very glad that I picked this one up. I very nearly left it to the end of the pen show, and I think if I had, this pen would have sold and I would have regretted it. So very glad that I picked this up when I did, because this is a stunning beauty of a pen. I like also the way that Brad continues the theme down onto the sections here where possible. And this is a number 6 size Yovo. I want to say Yovo nib. It looks Yovo to me, but yes, it is Yovo. I know I've got one in Bock, I've got one in Yovo, and I've got one in Cypress. So this is the Yovo nib. And it's a standard international converter that you can see there as well. But this is a lovely pen. You can't post a cap on it, but again, it doesn't bother me. It's a beautiful pen, not only to be looked at, but also it writes really well as well. The next pen inked up is the Cypress, and this is the Maki-e Goldfish, and I honestly thought I couldn't get any better than this in a Cypress pen. This Maki-e work, the level of detail here is so fine that this just reminds me of a Namiki Emperor Goldfish. If I unscrew the cap, you've got a Cypress, and this is a 18 karat gold, and that is a medium nib. It is smaller in my hand, both in girth and also in length. I can post the cap. It's not going to post securely, but I can if I wanted to. But all of this here is actually, let's see if I can show you on camera. It's going to be really difficult, but all of that here is raised. So from that perspective, I don't really like to post the caps on those pens. The next pen inked up is I said I didn't think I could get any better than the Maki-e Goldfish, and this is the Maki-e Dragon, which I picked up at around Christmas time last year, and this really is a beautiful pen. Very glad that they did this, because it was the year of the dragon. This is a stunning pen. So very, very glad that I picked this pen up. There's only normally 5 made from Cypress in a lot of cases, and this comes with a number 6 size Cypress broad nib. Again, cartridge converter pen. Yes, you can post the cap. Again, I really would say not to, because again, all of this is raised, and I would just be very wary that, like, if you're writing with this pen for, like, I don't know, maybe a year or 2, you're probably not going to chip or scratch that finish. But if you're keeping it for 5 or 10 years and you're constantly doing that, then at some point you are probably going to mark that finish, and it's just not something that I want to do. The next pen inked up is the Morgan Wisser, and this is the orange gold leaf Urushi. I think his name's Wisser. It's Wisser. Might be Wiser. I think it's Wisser. He's French. You have his logo here on the pen, but it's a beautiful orange gold leaf Urushi. When I saw this on John's table at St John's Pens at the London Pen Show in March, I just knew I had to buy this pen. And this comes with a number 6 size Bock 14 karat gold, and it's a music nib, but this writes quite lovely. So again, standard cartridge converter. You could just about post that cap. It's not going to post really that deeply or securely, but, and again, I would warn against posting caps. I do recall when I got into this hobby, I was a cap poster, and because I do remember the reason why was because I'd put the cap down on the desk and I would start writing with it and I would lose the cap. So I completely get why a lot of people want to post caps. But over the years, I've come to not post the caps and just be a little bit more conscious or aware of where I'm leaving that cap. The next pen inked up is the Mike Green Blue Juma Dragon, or Blue Snake, depending on what you want to call it. But this is a beautiful material you can see here from Atlas Supplies in the US. Love this material to death. This has a number 6 size Yovo nib, and this nib is made or engraved by Engraver India, and the nib was donated or gifted to me by Dr. Joe Vitolo. Beautiful nib, really liking it a lot. I think it's probably a medium, writes a little bit more towards a broad. Mike, in his pens, puts a TWSBI converter. I believe you can still put a standard international in there as well. The TWSBI converter holds about 1.2 to 1.5 milliliters of ink. Again, you can't really post the cap on this one, so not designed to be posted. I think it needs a more conscious decision by, going to get that thread lining up eventually. There you go. I think it takes a little bit more of a conscious decision for the pen maker to get the cap to be posted. The next pen inked up is, again, the Mike Green, but this is the purple Juma Dragon. And again, this is just a really stunning material. This was the one that really sold it to me, and I said, yeah, I really do need this one. So very glad that I have this one in my collection. And this one, I keep getting this wrong. This is a Bock nib. This is a Yovo nib. But it's a number 6 size. It's a broad nib. Again, the converter here is a standard, but not standard. It's a TWSBI converter, oversized converter. So again, holds about 1.2 to 1.5 milliliters of ink, but it's a decent size in my hand. It's got a large ink capacity. What more can you really ask for? And then the last pen is a Gilbert House pens, and this is the Amboyna Burl in the Homerton. And when I saw this on Brad's Instagram, I messaged him, and I know that he does a Makers Fair on Saturdays, and I saw he had posted this about 4 hours prior, and I was like, oh, I know this one is going to be sold out, because if I remember other pen makers, when I've messaged them 3 or 4 hours later, they say, sorry, it's sold within the first few minutes. But I messaged Brad and this one hadn't sold. So I decided I would add this one to my collection, and it really is a stunning Amboyna Burl. I do like Amboyna Burl. It's a lovely wood. And this one comes with a number 6 size Cypress nib. It's a broad nib. Again, the converter on this one with Brad's pens is just a standard international Schmidt K5 converter. It's not the oversized TWSBI, but it actually is quite nice. I can't post the cap again on this one, but I don't need to do so on this one. So I have that one inked up with me this week as well. So I think with that, let's now go and do a writing sample. So the first pen inked up is the Ryan Krusac Legend 16, and this is the Dragon Slayer. So we'll do an ink swatch here. And this Still, I'm getting a little bit of an orangey yellowy hue to this ink swatch, but the actual writing though, I'm not seeing it there too much. This is the Ryan Krusac Legend 16 in the Dragon Slayer. And it's a medium, and it's a still Yovo nib. But I really do want to put a double board in there. And then the ink in here is Diamine Earl Grey. But there's a slight yellowness to the ink swatch here, purely because I've had orange inks in this pen before. And I have cleaned it out. It's just that sometimes you still get a little bit of ink, that crusty ink maybe, that is stuck in one of those feed channels, and it just mixes once it hits some ink. The next pen inked up is the Ryan Krusac Legend 16 in the Koi, and this is a beautiful nib. This is a double broad Yovo nib, and I really love it. So this is the Ryan Krusac Legend 16 in the Koi in a double broad steel nib, Yovo nib. And the ink in here is Diamine Tobacco Sunburst, which is actually one of the Les Gibson guitar inks, but that really is a beautiful ink. The next pen inked up is the Gilbert House Pens Red Box Elder Burl. So we'll do an ink swatch on this one. And I do still have this inked up with the previous ink that I had. I've not switched the ink over. I want to really put Diamine Ho 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 or Diamine Poppy Red in here. This is the Gilbert House Pens. And it's a red box Elder Burl. And it's a broad, but it is a still nib. It's a Bock nib. I want to really go out on a limb and say this is a medium. The Bock nibs typically do not actually have the nib width written on them, but it does feel a little bit more like a medium to me. But that might be because I've been writing with a double board more. The ink in here is still Diamine Passion Red, but one of these days I will probably swap it out. Kind of want maybe a bit of a darker red. I think Poppy Red honestly would be a good option there. The next one inked up is the Gilbert House Pens, and this is the Grey Box Elder Burl. So we'll do an ink swatch. And this is a broad nib. And this is a Yovo nib, and it really does feel more like a broad nib to me. So this is the Gilbert House Pens, and it's the Grey Box Elder Burl. And I do have some other broad nibs. I might actually, when I change that ink, I might actually put a different broad nib in there. And it's going to be a Bock nib, but I've got some broad Bock nibs, so I could screw that in quite easily. This is a broad steel Yovo nib. And then the ink in here is Diamine Earl Grey. I typically prefer steel nibs to be, in most cases, a broad nib. Certainly the Yovos, and also the Bock nibs. So I do find that this writes a little bit more towards a medium, if not definitely a medium. The next pen inked up is a Cypress Maki-e Goldfish. So we'll do an ink swatch here. Now this is a medium nib, and I do find a lot of time with Cypress nibs, because they're made by Canwright in India, that if you go for a medium nib, it's typically more towards a Western fine. So this is a Cypress Maki-e Goldfish. You can see that is quite a fine line, and technically it is a medium, and this, just want to double check that it is an 18 karat gold nib, and then the ink in here is Robert Oster Gold Antiqua, and this is starting to run a little dry. I'm going to probably have to re-ink that pen. The next pen inked up is the Cypress Maki-e Dragon, and we'll do an ink swatch. And this definitely feels a little bit more towards a broad. So this is the Cypress Maki-e Dragon, and it's a broad, and it's a 18 karat gold nib, and the ink in here again is Robert Oster Gold Antiqua. But you can see the difference there, and I think I do prefer the broad nib. I said the gold nib. They're both gold 18 karat nibs, but the broad definitely speaks to me a little bit more. The next pen inked up is the Morgan Wisser, and this is the orange gold leaf Urushi. So we'll do an ink swatch, and this is a wider nib still. It's a little bit of a paintbrush, but I do like it. So this is the Morgan Wisser, and it's the orange gold leaf Urushi, and it is a music, and it's a 14 karat gold nib. And the ink in here is KWZ, and it is grapefruit. But that is a lovely colour ink. I do like that a lot. The next pen inked up is the Mike Green, and this is the blue Juma Dragon. So we'll do an ink swatch. And again, this is a nib that writes really well. I'm pretty sure this is a Yovo nib. Actually, I'm guaranteeing it is a Yovo nib. So this is the Mike Green, and it is the blue Juma Dragon. And is it a medium? Is it a broad? I think I've said it's a broad before. I think it is a medium, and it's a still Yovo nib. And then the ink in here is Diamine China Blue, but that is a lovely writing nib, and I love the engraving done by Engraver India. The next one inked up is the Mike Green Purple Juma Dragon. So we'll do an ink swatch on this one. And again, loving how this nib writes. So this is the Mike Green. And it is the Purple Juma Dragon. and it's a broad, and it is a steel nib, and I want to say this is a Bock nib. The other one is a Yovo nib, so this is going to be a Bock nib. Yes. I'm pretty sure I'm correct there. The ink in here is KWZ, and it is Gummy Berry. But that is a beautiful ink. I love writing with that pen and also that nib. And then the last pen ink tub is a Gilbert House Pens. It's a Homerton model, and it is in the Amboyna Burl. So we'll do an ink swatch here. And I remember I had this inked up with another ink at one point, and I just didn't like the ink. So I changed it, and I think it matches the colour of the pen quite nicely. So this is the Gilbert House Pens, and it is the Amboyna Burl, and it is a broad. It's a Cypress. Is it a, yeah, it's a Cypress nib, so it's a broad. It's a steel nib, and then the ink in here is Diamine Ochre. It's an ink I go to a lot, and I just have to say I love that colour of ink. So I think let's take a look at these pens inked up one more time. We've got a Krusac Legend 16 in the Dragon Slayer in a medium steel nib inked up with Diamine Earl Grey. We have a Krusac Legend 16 in the Koi in a double broad steel nib inked up with Diamine Tobacco Sunburst. We have a Gilbert House Pens in the red Box Elder Burl in a broad steel nib inked up with Diamine Passion Red. We have a Gilbert House Pens in the grey Box Elder Burl in a broad steel nib inked up with Diamine Earl Grey. We have a Cypress Maki-e Goldfish in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with Robert Oster Gold Antiqua. We have a Cypress Maki-e Dragon in a broad 18 karat gold nib inked up with Robert Oster Gold Antiqua. We have a Morgan Wisser Orange Gold Leaf Urushi pen in a 14 karat gold music nib inked up with KWZ Grapefruit. We have a Mike Green Blue Juma Dragon in a medium steel nib inked up with Diamine China Blue. We have a Mike Green, and this is the purple Juma Dragon in a broad steel nib inked up with KWZ Gummy Berry. And then we have a Gilbert House Pens Homerton in the Amboyna Burl in a broad steel nib inked up with Diamine Ochre. So there you have it. That's my 10 pens currently inked for this week. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye-bye.